Good morning, aspiring guitarist. It's almost the weekend, and I hope you're going to have a great one. I'm going to talk about some resources that are available to help you with your guitar journey that we might overlook and what we can do about it. If you watch some of my videos, I come from a newspaper and journalist background, but I actually come from a computer background. Before that, I was the chief sysop for the world's largest online magazine before there was a World Wide Web. And so teaching is something that I've enjoyed my whole life. During the 90s, now I actually started in computers in the late 80s after I got out of the Air Force, but during the 90s, I helped many businesses to come into the computer age. And some of them, they would pay me to evaluate what they needed to do. And sometimes I would look over their business and things, and I would tell them what they didn't want to hear. And guitarists may not want to hear this either. I would look at them sometime and go, you don't need a computer. You just need to write stuff down with your pencil. Well, they don't want to hear that. Computers was a buzzword back then, and it was made for great cocktail talk, and everybody had to come into the computer age. Now, yeah, in hindsight, they did. And I would tell them when I talked to them, okay, why don't you slowly move into computers? Start out with just, giving your administrative staff something to type letters on instead of the typewriter. So, as we move through guitars, YouTube has become a great resource. The web, apps, they're great things. But, I use my phone and I use notes. I'm going to do a whole segment on how I use notes that comes with my iPhone to do everything from, and I do it on my iMac too, and I am an old Windows guy. I'm not unfamiliar with Windows. But like I do things in notes, like I have one heading that's guitar sites left at the end of the day. And I simply just copy the link and drop it in on the day. I can always come back and find something because bookmarks, unless you're really organizing a bookmark, you may bookmark something. 3 months from now, you'll hit bookmarks and gosh, you've created a monster. But one of the things that maybe we ought to get back to is a notepad and a mechanical pencil. Or a regular pencil, or a pen. But, we've learned to carry a phone. This is not very big at all. But a lot of us are using the phone to do YouTube, to do other things. And we're sitting there and we're watching guitar. And, okay, I'm pretty good at using notes to type in something and to use dictation. Even though I have a southern drawl and Siri, I'm not going to say her name, doesn't tend to like me, but yeah, it's, I try to talk better to where she likes me, and that way I can dictate. But if you're right in the middle of watching something about guitars and they say something like that you don't know, the harmonic scale, unlike the chromatic, and are you going to stop and go write that down? Well, you might. But if you have a notepad and a pencil, and you get used to having it with you when you start browsing the internet for guitar tips and this and that and the other, you can write it down, and then after you've watched the video, you can go look it up. Now, I realize you can pause the video, but many of us, I've got people right now watching this that are about ready to zone out. That's the reason I started doing some of my videos as a short. I learned that lesson in journalism years ago. First article I ever wrote, my copy editor tore it to shreds and said, if people can't read this in the average trip to the John, the bathroom, I don't want it. Because people zone out. And I realize they zone out. You're probably about to zone out here. But there are other things you can do too. Calendars, desk calendars, the calendar on your phone. It's so easy to have the squirrel effect hit you. Now, what's the squirrel effect? Well, I'm going to show you. Hang with me. I know you might be about to zone out, but let me just show you this right here. Okay, this is hanging in my guitar studio, and basically what it is, and you're not going to see it for the reflection, but this was the governor of Alabama who thanked myself and my wife because we gave the state of Alabama OutdoorAlabama.com, which is their website for conservation and natural resources. And we were a camping family for years, which often meant taking a guitar and singing and doing things with us. And, you know, my three sons, I'm sure, have fond memories of, I always waited till 8 so I didn't bother the other campers in the state park, but getting them up by going, oh, what a beautiful morning. Yeah, they still talk about that. But my point is, when we camped, the squirrel effect would come into being. Now, what is that? Well, we were outdoors. You'd be talking to somebody, and all of a sudden, and you're talking, all of a sudden and you realize they've zoned out. Where did they go? Why are they not listening to you anymore? And so we used to laugh and call it the squirrel effect. I'm listening to you, but look at that squirrel over there. So you just totally drop what you're doing and you zone out. You can so zone out on the internet thinking you're furthering your guitar learning. So focus. Open your phone up and designate some time to actually practice. Well, I'm not going to do that. Well, you know, it's like the person that goes into Wally World to buy one thing. How many people you know that come out of Wally World with one thing? I actually saved a receipt where I went in for one thing, because my idea of shopping, unless I'm in a guitar shop, so I admit we all have our guitar addiction syndrome. We all have our things that make us stop and go, ooh, squirrel, you know, and they take our focus off. But how many people go into Wally World and can walk out with just one thing? Now, that's generally the way I like to shop. I'm on a mission. I want to go and I want to get out of there. But that doesn't mean that some people don't enjoy shopping. I enjoy being in a guitar shop. There's probably nothing else in the world that, I don't know, I like fishing lures, kind of. But, you know, I'm the kind of fisherman that likes to navigate the boat while my sons fish. But anyway, focus. That's the thing. The squirrel effect can get you in trouble. And there's nothing wrong with a notepad and a pencil to write things down to come back to. Things like that can help your guitar journey, and they can keep you from wondering and feeling frustrated. You know, I just don't get anywhere. I don't know what to do. And I get it. Sometimes we suffer from information overload. So use some of the common things to keep you on track if you can. And remember, it's your guitar journey. I hope it's a blessed one. And remember, happy picking.